Yes, fleet maintenance. That this area is one area that people find difficulties with to manage. They find it difficult to manage it. But as a fleet owner, I would like you to know that fleet business is not for a lazy man. It's for a strong person, a strong personnel. Because when it comes to maintenance, you can spend so much on maintenance. And if you are not very careful, you get frustrated out of the business. Maintenance is something that you need. It's just like you taking care of your body. Is you maintaining the condition, making your vehicles to be in a good and perfect condition. So it's like like checkup on just the way we humans go to the hospital for checkup. That is just the way our vehicles are. We need to maintain them, we need to take care of them, we need to ensure that they are perfect and fit, for any particular trip, and they can stay longer, on the road without having issues. And like accidents or you giving unnecessary money to government officials. So we need to know before you can send your vehicle out on every operation. That is why a fleet manager has to take it upon himself with the fleet operator, with the mechanic, to have a vehicle inspection form. That vehicle inspection form is daily. You need to train your drivers to a level to know how to pre-check and post-check on their vehicle before they emerge on any job. It is very, 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 very important. This truck might have gone on a long trip. Some companies, they don't even care. Once the truck comes, pick another one and go. It shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't be like that. To avoid, breakdown and down times, you need to ensure that your trucks and your vehicles, whatsoever vehicle, even if it's a bicycle, you need to check them, check their oil, check their brake, check tire, check the tires, check their hair, make everything at least it's okay. If at all you are going to have a breakdown, it's going to be minimal. It's going to be minimal. So vehicle inspection is very, very important, and it's key if you want to have a smooth run of your fleet business. And we want you to know when you maintain your truck often, it will lower the cost of operation. It will lower the cost of operation because you will not spend and there's something about trucking, fleet business. On no account should you manage repairs. Once your driver complains, send the appropriate engineer or technician to go and check that thing. Don't ask any driver to please don't manage your truck in any way. Do not manage your truck in any way. Don't manage your truck. Let your trucks, once your driver reports, kindly check. Don't manage. Because the fault might appear very little. If you don't fix it on time, it becomes larger, and before it becomes something that it will not cost you more. So if it appears little, fix it while it is little before it gets big. So on your handout, you see the benefit of fleet maintenance. Like I've just taken you through the whole thing, I've summarized it for you and all that. Then I said something. The major workers, the key workers of maintenance. The maintenance is not only for the mechanic. 3 people are involved: the fleet manager, the driver, and the mechanic themselves. The driver is the one driving the truck. The driver is the one that will know the condition of this truck, if this truck is okay or not. Are you with me? And for the fleet manager, you need to have little knowledge about the vehicle or the kind of vehicle you use in your company. You need to have, even you need to have little experience. That is the main reason why you need to belong to, fleet association, whereby you can get information. So whenever you notice that even there are things that is going on in your truck that you don't understand, please don't be too big to ask questions. Throw it out. People that have been there will explain to you. There are sometimes that the vehicles will come out with strange sounds. Those sounds will be able to know if this truck, and if it's giving a knocking sound, if it's giving like a sound, a smoke, you will know if the injector is about to have problem. When you see the truck, when the vehicle is bent or looks up, you will know. So all these things, you need to be aware with your vehicle. You need to be aware with your vehicle. The driver might not know because some don't care. There are some that they just don't care. You understand? But for you, in order to protect your job and to not to delay your services to your customer, you understand, you need to get used to your vehicle. You need to be familiar with some things. If you notice anything, call the attention of the driver. Do you notice this? Let's check it. Call your technician. Then check the vehicle before you send them out. So we need to take note of this. The driver should be the one doing the inspector check in the morning. The fleet manager will have to ask the driver, what was the condition of the truck? As we are coming back from this trip, do you notice anything? On your own, okay, before you go, check the oil, check the brake oil, check the hazard oil, make sure everything is okay. Look at the bolts, the shafts, the bolts, everything, and see that they are all complete. You understand? You can even take time, go around, down your vehicle and ensure that the chassis, the channel, everything, there are no cracks, the pinion, everything is perfectly okay. And in no time, probably like every 4 months or 4 months or 5 months, really it depends on the kind of operation that you run. If you are the type that goes on a long journey, you go on a far distance journey, you understand, it's advisable for you to service your truck like every 3 months. Service them every 3 months. Check the injector, service it, grease all the iron, the spring part of it, make sure everything is greased. The axle, you check the pinion side, make sure that you look for a grease man to help you to grease it, the tire, the upside, the clutch side, make sure everything is greased. And one thing, you need to wash your trucks. Make sure your trucks are washed maybe once a week. Make sure you wash them, or just find time to ensure, put it in your policy and ensure that your vehicles are actually washed. Make sure they wash them inside and outside. The down parts, let them use water to wash under. All this sand and mud, everything makes the under to get rust. You understand? No damage is causing them to rust. The spring parts of the vehicle. So all this we need to take note. Grease them always. Make sure your trucks are well greased. You need to look into that. You need to check them. You understand, and make sure that they are well greased. So now on the 6th slide, I just mentioned that the fleet manager has work to do. You need to make sure that things are well checked before. The vehicles are well checked before any vehicle actually goes out on a particular trip. And I will advise, if the number of your fleets is so large, I will advise you to employ all your technicians. Have your mechanic, and your mechanic, there's some mechanic that they don't know how to do clutch and gear. So it's either you employ a gear engineer and a mechanic, or you actually employ a mechanic that is versed with gear, clutch, and the mechanical parts of the vehicle. And you need to have an airman, which has to do with all the air system, the brake and all the air system, the vacuum and all that, all the fuel system of your vehicle. And at the same time, you need to have an electrician. You need to employ them as a staff. You'll be paying them as staff, so they'll be working permanently for your company. So whenever emergency comes up, once you call on them, they have to go there for rescue. You understand? So if your fleet is so large, like 20, I would advise that you have like even 2 of them. So in case there's an emergency somewhere and you still have trucks running down around you, one will stay and while one will be out for rescue. Then you need to have a springman. You need to have a springman. His own work has to do with those that carries heavy duty goods. This applies to you. This has to do with the spring parts, the iron parts of the vehicle, the center body, the center rubber, all these things, anything can happen at any time. So you need to have one that will be working with you. In terms of securing to be sure if your mechanic is truthful to you, there are some parts of vehicles that you need to store in your station, like fan belts, all these bolts and nuts, all these little things. You need to have gear oil, axle oil, engine oil, everything stocked. You need to have extra tire. You need to have a rescue alternator. You need to have a rescue compressor. Keep them and store them somewhere. Those are the things that can easily rise up. Instead of you looking for where to get it, in as much as you have them, you can easily pick for rescue before you repair the one that actually got damaged. I hope you get that. Then whenever you ask your mechanic to go and buy parts, it depends. You might have a parts seller that you use that actually supplies the things that you use to maintain your truck for your company, and maybe at the end of the month you will come and collect his money. Based on your policy and your relationship with such person, or you give it to your mechanic to go and buy. But often the mechanics, they are not trustworthy. So it is very, very rare for you to have a sincere mechanic. But it will help the fleet manager if he has knowledge about how they sell these parts. So you can call parts dealers for verification, and some will collect money from you for you. They'll buy you token or used one, and with time that vehicle will come up with the same fault again. Then the fleet manager needs to have a record whereby he records all the repairs, the way they come in. They need to have a sheet whereby they can space out the expenses made on each truck, on each vehicle every month. This will help you to know the truck that is the vehicle that is breaking down often. It will help you to know, with that record, it will show you if this particular truck is consuming so much money on mechanical aspect, or air aspect, or spring parts, or electrical parts. So this will make you to know if your technicians are actually doing what they need to do. So you need to have a spreadsheet whereby you record all these expenses. And one thing you need to take note of is this: you need to, if they go to get parts for you, this method works so much for me, and it has worked for so many people that I've introduced it to. When they go to buy parts for you, always ask for the old one. Always retrieve the damaged one and let them present the new one to you. Always retrieve the one they remove. You will retrieve it, you collect it to yourself, and you let them show me the one you bought. Okay, this is the one, fine. Then you keep the one that you actually collect from them. Why do I say this? They might actually use that one that's spoiled, they'll go and repair it and they'll send it for you back. So you need to take note of that as well as a fleet manager. Then your drivers too, you need to carry them along, So with telematics, there are some software that will diagnose the vehicle for you. In the morning, once you start it, when you say diagnose, it will diagnose the whole vehicle. It will tell you if the oil is short, if the steering oil is not enough. It will diagnose the truck, the vehicle for you. You will see it pumping. So there's nothing to hide or to be hidden when it comes to. So that is why telematics is very, very, very good and very easy. It makes a fleet manager's work easy. So I will always introduce that to anyone. Then the maintenance of the truck lies in the hand of the driver. Like I said earlier, if the driver is rough, it will damage the truck, no matter how you spend it. So this has to go to driver management. Know the kind of driver that you employ. If your driver is costing you so much damage, I will advise you to let such driver go. I will advise you to try, if the driver has committed an offense, first, second, the third one, please don't spare the driver. Such driver should just go before you cause your company more damages. Fleet mechanics, I've talked about it. It's very good. You employ them, let them be part of your company. So like I said, I've mentioned your kind of mechanics to you. You have the mechanic, which I told you there are some that they don't know much about clutch and gear, while some are good when it comes to just mechanical aspects, and some are good in both. So it depends on you to get the one that will suit your company. I've told you about the rewire, the electrician, the spring engineer, the injector, the radiator. Yes, an injector engineer might not really be a full staff. It can be a contract staff. Anytime you need him, just call him to go and check, and you always take notes of the injector record and the fuel pump the last time you did it, and for it to come, at least the injector should last you 6 months. But for those that give their drivers money to buy fuel, that uses black market, it's advisable you kit your injector like every 3 months, which I had mentioned earlier. Importance of fleet maintenance, I've talked about it. It reduces cost and increase production with fleet management, increase control of the fleet, it increases safety and awareness when managing your fleet, accurate measure and track performance, visualization of your underground and surface fleet. So this is good, and I attached a maintenance schedule for you to go through. You can create your own. This is just a template for you to see how it looks. Then I'll touch on. So now I want to talk about tire maintenance. We need to understand the important aspects of a tire in a vehicle. At least we all know. Without the tire, the vehicle will not move. At least you cannot drive with the rim alone or with the hub alone. So you have to drive with a tire. Tires are actually designed to carry the weight of the vehicle. And we need to understand that the weight of the goods we are actually carrying goes back on the tire. So it is advisable when you are carrying, like I said, when purchasing this kind of vehicle you need to use for your fleet business, you need to understand the right vehicle that suits the particular goods that you want to carry. You cannot use a small tire to carry a heavy load. It will affect the tire. All you just be seeing is tire burst. No matter, even though buying Michelin, it will burst. In as much as the weight of the tire, the weight of the goods is too much for the tire. So tire management, we need to understand that sometimes the drivers actually sell your tires unknown to you. You just hear on their trip, tire burst. How do you track your tires? This is the trick. You need to always, I advise you that some China tires are actually good, but German and American tires are the best. But they are quite expensive though, and they are scarce. In Nigeria now, China has really taken over the market. So most tires that we have are actually either China or all these Lebanon tires. So the thing is that some Indian tires are very good also. So if you have a good supplier, just don't go to the market to pick. You need to have your supplier. So when you purchase from a particular person and that vehicle actually develop the tire, you notice that the tire burst, you can easily, let the tire purchase be on your warrant. Like, okay, how many months are you giving me to use this tire? You understand? Those China tires, once they are using them, before you know it, the tread will start pulling out. You understand? So you need to know the kind of tires that actually suits your vehicle. So you get them and make sure you buy directly from a supplier. So whenever the tires has issue, you can easily, go back to report that these tires are actually giving you issues. So you need to know the kind of brands that it's actually good for your vehicle. We have iFly, which is very common in the Nigerian market today. Sunfly, we have iFly, we have Sunfly, we have some use Michelin, some use Hotspot. So it depends. Different tires with different brands, you understand. But so far so good that I have known Sunfly. Sunfly is very, very good when it comes to their tires, and at least they're a bit durable. So when you are dealing with your drivers and your tires, drivers actually steal tires and sell, and they will replace it with a bad tire, you understand, just to convince you, just a tire burst. So as a fleet manager, you need to take note of your tires. You need to know if you are buying using one brand, let all your tires be Sunfly. So once they change it, you will know that I gave you Sunfly, this is our tire. And while purchasing, if you buy from a supplier, they will always give you a tire number. No tires do not have the same tire numbers. There's no, even though you buy 1 million tires, they will not have the same tire number. So the tire number are actually by the side of the tire. It's like 13 digits, some come like 12 digits. So write it out. You know, if you can ask the suppliers to come with the tire number. So when assigning it to your vehicle, for instance, let's say truck 20, truck AKD 20, you are assigning 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 2, 4, 7, 7, 9, 9, 9, like that. You know, you will write it and store it in your database alongside with the driver name that collected the tire and the number of tire that you distributed. There's what we call tire sheet. This tire sheet, it will show you that, okay, is this tire actually placed in the front, left front or right front, or middle or middle side, middle right side, or middle left side. Is it back right side or back left side? There's a sheet for it. So as you are giving out those tires, give it out like that. Have it stored on your system. Write it out. AKD 20 X5 was giving so tire, front, back, front, this and that. You know, and let your drivers too be aware that this is actually what you are doing. So whenever you have issues, you can easily, you know that this particular tire that was given on the 1st of October has actually busted within 1 week. So it's now for you to know if the brand of tires that you actually bought are actually good for you. But we have what we call tire seal. But if you are carrying an heavy duty, if you are using an heavy duty vehicle, it's not advisable for you to use a tire seal because of the weight of the load you are carrying. With tire seal, instead of the tire to just burst and you can actually electric patch it to just scatter, to burst, because the seal is like an elastic kind of rubber that is being molded inside the tire for it to sustain it from if it actually tricks something, and it makes the tires last longer. And with telematics too, they've improved to an extent that if let's say for instance the position of the tire, it will indicate that front tire left, front tire left. So for you right in your office where your driver has gone out, has gone on a trip, it will show you that the tire is less. Instead of your tire coming to you, the tire burst. So if it bursts, it will tell you damage. It will be blinking damage. If it's removed, it will tell you front tire back remove, front tire back remove, front tire back remove. So technology has actually gone to that level. With all I've said today, everything still falls under maintenance of the vehicle. If you have questions, please send your questions to me and I will surely address it. I think I've taken you through the whole process this morning. Thank you, and thank you for your patience. And I got reports that some said they might not be available for the physical class. I think we need to debate. If you prefer a virtual training on Zoom, kindly indicate. And we want a physical class if you know it's convenient for you. The classes will start by 11 and like 10, and we hope to finish by 12. So just 2 hours training. And kindly please don't forget to submit your assignment. Thank you so much, and God bless.